Good evening once again. Yeah, the pipers for the court. Says here, being an transit. Yeah, back on the down. We're soon at the brown. Next segment is the Damascus Experience. Segments are touching people's lives. I talk Uncle Falcomaso. If we say, Yankupon or Kwan or Far, so Emma saw a bear Paul. Then only ever see a visa pass and you may. Not sure how or no so Damascus journey no sing neti. Very ben no share Yesu. Na hina ne born who they reach no. I will be so ni mo journey di. I ne ye benefited from him. Ghana Central University College, ICGC, Ghana music industry, gospel for ye pehini ba ko pe. Into you, Pastor Joshua Alfonso Tete Chata. Lie. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
This is the TIG show. And welcome to Hits 103.9 FM.
Thank you.
Is it your first time here?
Yes, it is. My very first time.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So we are the first to host you in this studio.
I think so.
Praise be to God. TIG crew. Charlie, well done. Why are they? My production crew, why are they passing? Pastor Josh Laryea. First time ever on Hits 103.9 FM. It is only on the TIG show. Now, you host Pastor Josh Laryea. But you didn't born here.
You did.
I did. And so, are you comfortable with tree?
I'll try.
You try.
Yeah,
because
try.
you say what born you be with you. To meet listeners know where you're mixed. It be a tree, it can cry, it be can be a said if it be a far, then we mixed it with the English language so we can get the mileage that we need. What's up, Papachi? Be able to do for a sorry, maybe you okay.
Everybody is busy.
And then I sorry today.
I sorry was good. It was good.
Powerful.
It was very good.
Great. Now, one can say, what Damascus experience, how did it begin? Oh, they know. Also, was sorry fee. And now I say, what years you want them dabbing? And I'm born who actually told you about Christ and at what point in time? Now, Ushiano on your journey to Damascus.
Okay. You will know Christo. And me, Papa, and Christopher. So, and I'm quite dear. Me bought on my basso. Yeah. But along the line, me right.
Wow.
Yes. But through secondary school education, I had lost my way. I had lost my focus. And it was after school, after sixth form, and but how it happened was God's miraculous way. It was one lady that was more like my girlfriend, and we had plans to marry, but I realized there was something else going on with another person. So I just got to find out, and later I realized they've been there way before. Yes, and I was very broken, and I took a step that was terrible. So I can hear my new one sicker.
Wow.
Yes. But then he had to run, but I didn't know any papa a policeman. So I could friend papa the next day. And there was this man who had been following me, saying, sorry, for a very long time. And that day, I decided to go to church. Until no crime, me call because I knew said the police were coming. So the church for me that day was like a hideout. Yes, and that was how Christ arrested me. From that day, I have not turned back. Yes, that was in, I think, 1992.
Wow.
1991.
So you were actually going to seek refuge?
Yes, I sought refuge in church. So for me, then the church was more like a refugee camp. So.
Jesus. All praise and thanks to God. And that was where God arrested you, not the police.
Not the police. That's exactly how it turned out.
Interesting. Which church?
All Nations Christian Center. Now, Omo Palladium.
Okay, Accra.
Accra, yes. Around those times, Nanapa refrigeration was very popular.
Yeah. I remember that name.
Around, yes, Nanapa area.
Wow. And since then, there's been no turning back.
By God's grace.
Do you regret?
What a question. I wouldn't be here.
You won't be here. But for the blood.
But for the grace of God.
Amen.
Yes, I mean it's I don't know where to start, and I don't know what to say. It's the awesome grace of God. And if somebody says Christ and knowing him is a testimony, I think my life is a testimony, because that was when I started living life. I had failed all my exams because I was not concentrating here. But can you believe it? I had to go rewrite my exam and then go to the university and then continue from there to do my master's and all when I found Christ. Yes. It was even through that my siblings also had the opportunity to go into the university. So it was like the opening to live our lives to the fullest. And I recommend Jesus Christ to everybody who is listening. I'm not saying that it's a perfect life, it's a smooth life. No, it's a rough journey in Christ, but you can never end up being defeated.
Hallelujah.
You would always end up being triumphant.
Always win. You always win.
Yes.
You always win, because our God is a winner. Jesus is a winner.
He has already won 2,000 years ago.
Great. So, being a head pastor or lead pastor of Dr. Temple of ICGC, a lecturer, a contemporary gospel musician, a commercial gospel musician, how do you mix this portfolio in one and still be who you are as Pastor Josh Laryea? How did you manage all these portfolios?
Well, who you are is one. Who you are is living the life of Christ. Indeed, it runs through everything you do. Whether you are a pastor, you're a musician, you're a lecturer. Yes, it's one life. It's just that you segment them because they come in various departments and facets. Yes. So it's about using my time and using it wisely. So I don't joke with my time because I have so many things on my plate. Time. So it's all about time management. Everybody has 24 hours.
Yeah.
Nobody has 36. But God gives us fresh every day. And if God gives you a responsibility, on one yamin him say, it is within the 24 hours now or the amount. So I'm sure, say, before God will give you that responsibility, He's already made that way, within that 24 hours to make sure, say, you can do it. And everything God gives you within 24 hours, I know, say, will be to me. And that's how I psych myself. And I find time to do everything. My family life, my music, my pastoral, being a lecturer. I do all.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So, who writes your songs?
Oh, I write most of my songs. Those that are public domain, I rearrange together with Nasi. Yes. But for most of my songs, I write them. Yes. I get them through observation. Sometimes through preaching. I hear a preacher preaching, or sometimes myself, and I get my songs.
Okay, I know you're married. And
Yes, I am.
you have how many kids?
4.
Four.
Yes.
4 strong kids.
Yes.
So when it comes to gospel music, the notion out there in the industry is that the female gospel artists who marry pastors like you always have serious challenges, and we have examples, who have gone through it and it didn't go well. There are just a handful who have theirs, being nice. What is your own opinion about female gospel artists getting married to pastors, and at the end the pastors even trying to manage them, in the industry? I'm talking about music industry as a business. What is your own view of it? Is there something that we should,
Well, I think that if we try to, you see, people have managing somebody comes with a set skill and competence. It's not like being an usher in a church. It comes with a set skill. So until you have that technical skill, you can't do it. So the fact that somebody is your wife doesn't mean you can manage them technically when it comes to their music career. And I think that's where the problem is, because sometimes people feel say, oh yeah, me intimate was say me managing a music career. You can manage her as your wife, and you have that absolute right. Ubia anyone because of your year. But then when it comes to her career, it doesn't mean say you have that set skill obi to me edia managing. And that's what most of our female musicians must also take into consideration when they are going to marry. And so that they must be able to draw the line,
okay,
even before they marry. Say, yebe worry, but pacho tiasie say, o worry me we eye me juma. Enti wo say menya obia owo sa nimdie no a obetumi edia manage me senia e wo say ye no. You know, if your husband has that set skill, then fine. But you can mix the two. Tisesenia obi ire a bank manager.
it doesn't work.
It doesn't work that way. And I say me a pastor, and by force me ire so a pastor. It doesn't work that way. All right. So I think that they should be able to draw the line. They always assume when these pastors see the musicians, there's one thing that runs through them. They don't just look at say Miko Warren the same yere. Number one, they see them say Obebuano, Ewana sorry.
Okay.
That's number one.
Musically.
And then number two, they can make so much out of them. So it comes in two ways. And it is not just say, oh, I am a yere. They have all of that in mind. So they come with a certain expectation. Me warena, these are the benefits I'm going to get. If that is not drawn clearly, and now they try to manage you and you act like, then they start spreading certain rumors about you and the manager and all of those things that we hear that go on. Yes.
Wow. Thank you for that. So let me take you a little back. Secondary school. Bleo.
Yes.
Akraka.
Bleo.
All right.
I'm a Bleo.
Yes. I read that and I was so excited. You remember some of your classmates?
Yes. A lot of them. The late Danny Nete.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Danny
was my buddy. We were classmates. Yes, at Accra Academy. Yes.
What's your fondest memory about Danny?
Oh, I mean, we go way back. The first time we encountered each other was in Form 1. He was in D and I was in A. But he is very big. Yeah. I mean, so we didn't know that he was part of our the class, so we were there, and he came and he said that, well, everybody stand on your feet. So we all stood up, stand on your tables. We all stood on our tables, and he left and went. We stood there for a long time, let's say for about 2 hours, only to find out that he was in the D class.
He wasn't in that class, and he got you guys standing up.
So he was not our senior, actually. He was also in Form 1.
Was it that hilarious?
Oh yes, Danny would always leave you with a joke. He would always meet you with one, leave you with one. As a matter of fact, the last time I met him before he passed, 2 weeks before he passed, he left me with a joke. I mean,
You remember the joke?
I don't, because he has a lot of them. He would definitely pull
Get
one
you.
somewhere. I mean, yes. So he left me with one before he left. Actually, I think the preacher was preaching, and the preacher said certain things, and he just used that as a joke before he left. And so, as for Danny, he's a great guy by all standards.
But your
He's
name,
so rest in peace.
hallelujah, may he's so resting. But your name, Chata, you know, I'm not a gun, but the first day I heard and I asked somebody the meaning, I felt it was, you know, God's name. It was blasphemous to use Chata.
Oh, I think it was my dad's covenant name for us. He comes from idolatrous family, a family that did not know God. So the moment he understood the gospel, he just decided to separate us and to cut us out. So he borrowed and coined that name, Chata. In other words, these, my children, are for the Lord. So they are for Chata. And so it's more like we are dedicated to God. And that was the idea behind the name. If you hear Chata, it's not a nickname. It's actually my name. And it's my covenant name that my dad gave to me and all my siblings. So all of us are Chata.
Wow.
So if you know somebody at a cracker and they call Chata, most of them actually thought it was my nickname, but it is not.
Okay. All right. So now I know the meaning of Chata. I mean, it wasn't because when I growing up to listen to you, I only knew Josh Laryea. It was just a recent thing. I think that you know,
about
late
4 years.
Yes, late
ago.
2000s that I heard Chata. So I'm like, oh, is that a nickname they've coined for you or? But I did a little reading on it. I noticed it's actually your real name.
Yes.
There's a hyphen in there.
That's a hyphen.
Chata Laryea.
Yes, Chata Laryea.
Wow, wow. Etiefo, so far you heard our Pastor Josh Laryea in the studio. We've been discussing his Damascus journey, and it was awesome. He was actually, you know, seeking refuge in the church, and that was when Christ touched him. And ever since, he's not turned back. Okay. And so I heard this song one afternoon on radio. Now my friend, I said, Nana, who on your way? I said, bro, studio, now with you. Now see you chill when you remember your baby. Don't go near no more canile now. Also fasten them.
No darkness can stand your light.
No darkness can stand your light. So what are you trying to imply?
There is no power that can be able to stop you from becoming what God said you should become.
Wow.
No trouble.
No trouble?
No machination of the enemy.
Nothing.
No atrocity. No persecution. All of those represent darkness. They cannot stand your light, your destiny.
Hallelujah.
Everything that God has said about you, He will fight through because your light will comprehend every darkness.
Great. Hearing to me, see, we did one baby out and I pay me catch roll. Maybe you miss one back catch roll. This is be no bit to me and stop you. Just wait on the Lord. Maybe that catch roll and then Pastor and swag catch roll. Soon be a new bit to me, baby. I used to do basic no or do basic. Nothing on earth. What's a pet if you Pastor Josh? So, Pastor, industry. I just want to delve straight into industry. I've heard, I mean, we've all heard, the two giants in the country. We've heard NDC, we've heard NPP. They've delivered brilliantly on their manifestos with regards to creative arts. And for that matter, for me, it's music. That's where I know you belong. You as an industry person, you've been in the industry for long. Listening to these two, really, what do you think it's the need? Have they really touched on the needs, both of them, of the needs of us gospel artists, which you are one?
I don't think so. I think that if there's the kind of emancipation we need as musicians, it starts from the mindset. The mindset of the average musician in Ghana needs to be looked at closely. I think that we fight amongst ourselves more than we attack the issues that are fighting us.
Wow.
And for me, that's the saddest part. There's so many issues fighting us. Payola is fighting us. How much do we get from royalties? For about 4 or 5 years, I've never taken any royalty. The last time I took some, it was around 250 Ghana cedis a year. And what we forget is that when I retire as a musician, that will become the defining point for my children. Whether they are going to be musicians or not. Because my success would define my profession for my children. Whether it is good to be a musician or not would depend on my success. So my children, if I was not, will never, even if they have the talent, try to be one. Don't you realize that now for most pastors, their children want to be pastors because they have seen pastors doing well. I met a lady on a flight and she was going to visit her children in the UK and US, and both of them are lawyers. So I asked them, what is it? Their dad is a lawyer because the daddy has defined the profession. How we do church today was defined by our forebears who came before us. So we see church in their light. So what I want to ask us musicians is that if you retire today, can your children look at your situation and say they want to be musicians? And that's the question we should be asking ourselves. So how do we put structure to what we are doing in such a way that we can leave legacies for our children and for our children's children? There are so many songs I've written that have made hits that I'm sure my children's children may not even come to hear. And these are serious issues that we are not looking at, and we are fighting on petty, very petty issues. And it really, really saddens my heart. Nobody can make us what we have to be. I think that we have to take our destinies into our own hands and decide how we want our profession to be for us. The government can do it. Nobody can do it. We are responsible for who we become as musicians. I've gone to platforms to negotiate for musicians. And they come and they ask for anything. And I ask myself, because they are afraid that if they don't get a deal, they are done. But they didn't know that they were selling their future. Because if you take 20 cities from the first client, you have defined your tag and your level. He will go and tell the next person that if you want this man, just give him 20 cities. Meanwhile, if you want to compare what you do, whether as a gospel musician, as a secular musician, I don't know why we even put this thing between the two when it comes to the industry. Because if it is a profession, then it cuts across. A Christian lawyer and a Christian doctor, a Christian lawyer and a secular lawyer, they are all practicing law. So why do we separate the two? It's your profession. That's what you do for a living. In my church, I have those who come to play as their sacrifice to God. Not because they love God more than those who are full-time musicians, but it's because they have another profession. And because of that, they don't take money. Just because they know that this is not their profession. They are just playing to offer God a sacrifice. And there are those who are also full-time, who play, and that's what they live on, to feed their wife and children. And so am I saying as a pastor that those who play full-time are less spiritual because I pay them than those who do it maybe as a hobby? No. It is because their leg is on something that supports their family well, that they give much of their time and attention to. But if they didn't have another profession, I'm sure they would also take money just like these ones do. The Bible says that if you cannot feed your children, take care of your children, you are worse than an infidel. So why do we feel guilty if we have to put our structures in place so that we do the right thing? Sometimes I also blame some of us because we have not put our craft in such a way that we can put commercial value on it. So sometimes somebody just starts playing the keyboard and he doesn't play too well, and he's not gotten to that level where his craft is refined and polished, where he's become a pro, and then he starts charging. That's also the extreme, and it's a nuisance. Because if you're an apprentice, you pay, they don't pay you. So make sure you groom your craft. Get to a point when David in the Bible was killing the bear, was killing the lion. Who paid him? Nobody gave him nothing, but it was on his CV. But when he got to the professional level, when he was going to fight Goliath, he asked, what will be given to the man who kills Goliath? He put value on it because he has groomed his craft.
Price tag.
All right. So these are, for me, some of the things we need to look at closely and not look at what government or anybody is doing, because it is not what you have, it's how you use what you have.
All right. I'm sure they've listened to you. I'm sure they've heard you. Inti, so what you say, I'm saying over to me by social media handles and also now for Yebisa Pastor and Sam. I'm just about to open the phone lines, okay? But in the meantime, we are live on Facebook on TIG. Just look for TIG on Facebook. and we are live in there. Send us your messages on Twitter at This Is Gospel GH. On an Instagram, we are TIG Show Live. Okay? So WhatsApp line are active, says yeah. Sure. So send your messages to 0553 529232. The reason I've played it twice, it's my personal favorite. And I actually perform it in church every time I have the opportunity.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I love the song.
I think one of these days I have to see you performing it.
So, Pastor, I think we'll go straight to answer the questions from the lady who asked you about the, church.
Yes. If the pastor who is paid, is he doing ministry? If the pastor is doing ministry and he is paid salary, because that's what he does, that's his profession, that is vocation. In the same way, if an instrumentalist, that's his profession, then he can do it as ministry and also receive salary for it.
Really? I thought when you work in the church house, okay, I mean, you don't, it's supposed to be, should it be on payroll? Really?
Yes.
You have to be on payroll.
Yes.
Oh, okay, church administration, right?
Yes.
Okay.
What is the difference? So how does he feed his children? The Lord will provide. It's so wrong how we sometimes rip off those who work in the house of the Lord, and that's what they do there as their profession. As their profession. I have a PA. She's on salary because that's what she does. That's her profession. So if I have instrumentalists and that's what they do, why shouldn't I pay them? Why should I rip them off? And that's why most of our musicians are now playing outside the church. So we are actually sending them out because they have to marry just like we are marrying. And they have to live and be role models for their children, just like we want to be role models for our children.
Okay. Thank you very much. And so you heard that answer from Pastor, right? Do you listen to secular music at all?
Oh, not that I deliberately, but just like listening to the radio when I hear, so maybe City FM or Hit FM, and they are playing and that it passes through, but it's not like I sit down deliberately, I want to listen to, I don't even have that time anymore, yes. But I've had some quite good secular songs, yes. Jericho.
Nice one.
Can't deny me. You can't deny to tear my life away. No matter how I say, something inside so strong.
Nice one. So we'll do one. Probably maybe. Who knows? Maybe we'll do the Kane or the Emre before he leaves. Okay, people are asking me for you to do a cappella, so we'll do it before you. So you don't worry. Okay, guys, he's going to do it. We've had a lot of the secular people. The reason why I asked that because secular people have actually endorsed, these two giant parties, either NDC or NPP. Gospel artists have started trickling. It started trickling in, bit by bit. You think it's something worth doing in this country?
Well, the point is, it's not about this country. It's about your personal feeling about what you want to see. If you want to endorse a political party and you feel that's where you toe, what's the problem? If you don't want to, what's the problem? So the point is, people must be allowed to express themselves. Nobody should be your enemy because of the party they belong to. The way you wouldn't want me to be your enemy if I support another party, if you support another party, in the same way, why should I be your enemy if I also support another party? It shouldn't be a problem. It shouldn't be something that we even discuss. I mean, it is people's opinions, people's perspectives. Let's leave them And the way we tag people and this is that, that's why I'm saying that we are fighting over things that are very petty.
Trivial.
Very trivial. Because these are not issues.
Okay.
The person has a perspective.
Okay.
He's a human being. He has a view. He has an opinion, just like everybody else. He expresses it. Let's allow them to express it. So far as it doesn't impound on somebody's rights. Are you getting the point?
I get you.
Yes. And then it doesn't affect your faith, especially if you're a Christian. Why should it be a problem?
You must go ahead.
Yes.
Because I asked this because I'm getting a lot of message that they named some few gospel artists 4 years ago or something, and you were part of those who endorsed MPP.
Well,
so
it's the fact is, those are some of the things that I worked.
Okay, explain it.
Yes, I was a consultant.
Okay.
For their music. So so you see, somebody said, and that's exactly what I did. So if you ask all the artists, I engaged them. All right, so whilst you're sitting back and you're talking, I'm doing my work. And for me, some of those things, they don't add up. They don't add up. Okay, so, and tell me how that hurts God. Tell me how that taunts my Christianity. What does it do to it?
By following a political party.
Tell me, what does that I'm working. Tell me, it doesn't do anything to it. So I don't get it.
So you actually worked as a consultant for them. So you
yes.
actually engaged all the musicians that came on the platform.
Yes, the gospel musicians.
Okay. So, well, I think you've had your answers, eh? Everybody sending the text messages and all that. I'm sure you've had all your answers. And this is from Kwame Doctor from a brew, eh? It says, Franky5, this is your show. It's something else. So God bless you, my brother. Okay, this is from Sami Dance, who say, wow, great show. Great show. The current trend of gospel music now, today, 2016. Is it for money, fame, or spreading the good news? In your own opinion, what you listen these days?
Well, there are those who are doing very well. But just like every profession, you have those who just come in for the grabs. And all of us, it's obvious that for most these days, they just come in for the grab. So they don't actually groom themselves to give excellent ministry. Yeah, so, I mean, even if you listen to the lyrics of the song and the voice of the person, and their video clips and everything, it shows that they just came in, they've seen the glimpse of what a star can be, and so yeah, they just come in, you know. Yes, and that's why most of them also checking out so easily, because how they come in is how they go out. All right, so some of those, like I'm saying, shouldn't be a problem. It's in every profession. If you go to the doctor's profession, they are there. If you go to the lawyer's profession, they are there. In every profession, you see the charlatans. So it's in every profession.
All right, so it's there, right? Sir, I'm sure he's answered your question, but one big question before I take leave of you. Now, I understand you were at Miss Bell's christening, baby christening.
It's something I don't want to.
You don't want to talk
about. Yes.
I respect that.
Thank you.
If you don't want to talk about it, I respect that. I'm not going to ask you that question. You play any musical instrument?
The Osaman.
What's Osaman?
The Osaman it's more like a talking drum, but it's slim. Very slim. The guys normally use it, and we play it in between songs, so it doesn't come in. But it gets to a point, it comes in and then goes. Play it. And it sounds...
How does it look like?
Very slim, very light, and you use sticks.
Sticks, not your hands?
No, sticks. Okay. So you hang it and it comes in. So at a point it just comes in, you play it, and I mean everybody feels it at a point, then you relax You know, so you time the gaps in the song.
Osraman. Okay, I thought Osraman.
Oh, no, not Osama bin Laden.
Oh. Osraman.
Yeah.
Osraman. So would you advise that, you know, at least every musician
Should be playing
should
something.
learn how to play at least one instrument?
Yes.
Why do you think it's very important for that person to do that?
Because at least if you don't understand, you must, number one, understand the rudiments of music. You must understand your surface. Okay? And to play an instrument definitely will help you sharpen that up. So that when you're singing in a key, you know that this is key A, key B, key C. If you're going off, you know. At least if you're a backing vocal, you must know that, okay, my do, my mi, my so. So the do melody, the mi, it will give me the second part, the so will give me the third part. So at least it helps you spread the parts well. You know, so you know you're singing right or you're singing wrong. You know, these are things you must do. You must, so all it will, knowing an instrument will help you at least be able to do your voice exercises well. You know, not the breathing exercise. I mean the vocal exercises well. So it helps. So at least you should be able to play something. The fact that I say I don't play the keyboard doesn't mean I don't know. If I start playing, so I can play something, but I know I can play fully a song. But I know everything on the keyboard, and I can play to check the key, check everything, and play something at least.
So it's necessary.
It's very, very necessary. It's just that here, we don't start like, you know, people learn to play by heart. That's what we call it. They play by their heart. But if you go outside, it becomes part of the from infancy. You learn how to play an instrument in school, so it becomes part of you. So if you become a musician, it's a plus, you know. And they don't play until they learn theoretically, you know. So it gives them, if they go for rehearsal, they can write it, you know, and know exactly what they sang, know exactly what they played.
Okay.
And it really helps so that you can repeat whatever you did at rehearsal.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. And I see a lot of gospel artists actually. I can name one of two people who know really how to play one or two, and I think you guys are doing well, especially gospel, because that's what I am. So I would say the gospel guys are doing very well, very well when it comes to playing instruments. Huh? I'll ask him his final question, and then we'll say good night. Also, do you think that as gospel artists we have the capacity to lift that coveted prize at the VGMA, the Artist of the Year? Do we have the capacity? Are we able to do it? It hasn't been done before. Can we do it?
When you talk about skill, we do. We have the capacity to. If you talk about the best voices, best compositions, where do you find them? It's in the gospel fraternity. What we don't have is the structure. Yes. Well, it's a structure, and it's a structure that these secular guys have that makes them go above, because they have the following, okay, and they have a certain relationship with their audience, okay, and then they have their management team that work assiduously, and they see it as a profession. All right, and that's actually what they have more than we do. If we can put structure to our game, I think that definitely we can win it.
We have the capacity. It's just that we don't have the structures. And they have following. It means we are not active.
We are not active
on social media.
Yes, we are not.
Why do you think so?
Because sometimes we are lazy about some of those things, and we think, oh, it's not important. You know, sometimes how you can make your presence felt on social media without making it feel like you are boasting, or, you know, is an art in itself. Yes. And when we try to do it, the way we do it to also cast insinuation on our faith. You know, so there should be a balance. If we're able to do that very well, I think that we should be able to cut through.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So thank you. Now, you see, it says Franky5. My name is Alfred from Finland. Your show is very interesting, and play any Charter song and request it to my friends in Ghana. You are in Finland. You want to request the songs to your friends in Ghana. TIG show is gone far, eh? He's playing the song. We should play the song for Asamoah, known as Kabila. To my mom, Ajwa Asamoah, Kwame Amoa, Wendy Enima Asari. I love the TIG show. Right? And can you play me a song from Nasi Elevanyo featuring Cydia GH? Alright, just stay tuned. Eh? You might be liking it. I'll play it before I leave, okay? So we've had a very interesting time with chatter. You can do it. Package yourselves well. Get the trends on social media and stop being quiet. Connect with your artists. Get proper management, not pastors managing you. He just said that. So get proper management in place, you know, so you can be able to take your art professionally to where it has to go. Why? Huh? Okay. So who do you think is going to win the election this year?
I'm not sure.
You are not sure. It's going to be a tie, or there's going to be a runoff.
You have very
Slim.
Yes, it looks very competitive, and so each of them should work very, very hard, and the hard worker will win the day. Yes.
Okay.
Best policies will win the day. Ghanaians are now very discerning, and so I know that the one who works very hard and is able to bring out their best policies will definitely win the day.
That's a very good answer. Great. I enjoy your programs. I enjoy your compositions and everything, Chata.
Thank you.
Personally, I enjoy them. It is not because of Nana. I know Nasi touches it and it becomes something else, but your compositions,
Thank you.
they are always on point and on top. And I'm very happy that you actually answered our call to come visit us at Hits 103.9 only on the TIG show. I'm so excited because this is your first time ever.
Thank you. Thank you. I enjoyed myself.
But seriously, who's your favorite gospel artist now? Currently.
Wow, that's.
I know there are a lot, but who can you say?
I think this guy has now caught my attention. Nathaniel Bassey.
Ghana.
Here in Ghana. Wow. Who stands out for me? Gospel artist.
Current, not current.
I mean, maybe I don't want to be biased, but Nana say I've always loved him.
Now
so,
see.
Yeah, so definitely, and I like authentic music. So
Okay.
yes, I'm not too much into contemporary. So
Okay.
yes, I like.
You are more the traditional.
Yes, I like authentic music because
Correct.
music always has to give you an identity.
An origin.
So
Okay.
for me,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
So
All right. Thank you very much, Atta. God bless you. God bless you. You have any greetings or any last words you want to
my love
talk to your church
everyone,
members,
to
everybody?
all my loved ones, everybody who loves me and loves what I do. Thank you for loving me because you are the reason for my gift. Thank you.
And if they want to follow you on social media,
I mean, they should just go Facebook, Twitter, wherever you get me. I'm right
and the
there.
name is Josh.
Chata or Josh Laryea, both.
Okay. Okay, so look for Chata or Josh Laryea on all social media handles.
Yes.
And follow him out there. Is there any product going to come very soon?
Yes, we are working on something. Nasi and I are trying to do something. It's just that time has been a bit, but very soon we'll hit with a single, not an album.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
My joy and pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Now,